The hunting moon hung low over the crystalline forests of Vakresh Prime, casting silver shadows through the bioluminescent canopy. Ardenvale stood motionless in the clearing, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid air. Her hands raised, not in surrender, but in protection. Behind her, pressed against her legs, a small creature whimpered Reek, barely past his first molt, his chitinous plates still soft and translucent with youth. Around them, the pack surrounded her in a tightening circle. 20 warriors, each standing nearly 8 feet tall on their powerful haunches, their triple-jointed limbs ending in claws that could shred plasteel. The Vakresh were apex predators, their civilization built on honor through combat, their philosophy forged in blood. And Arden Vale, human xenobiologist, had just committed the unthinkable. She had stepped between their weapons and their prey. "Move aside, human," growled pack leader Threxus, his voice a rumble of gravel and threat. His crest flared red with barely contained aggression. The cub has shown weakness. He fled from the trial of fangs. The law is ancient. The law is absolute. Arden's jaw tightened. She could feel Reek trembling against her. Could hear his keening cry, a sound that transcended species. The universal language of a frightened child. Her own heart hammered, but her voice remained steady. "Then your law is wrong." The words fell like stones into still water. The pack stirred, a collective hiss of disbelief rippling through their ranks. No outsider had ever challenged their ways. No human had ever dared. Threxus took a step forward, his massive frame blocking out the moonlight. "You understand nothing of our ways, soft skin. Weakness must be culled. It is how we have survived for 10,000 cycles. It is how we became strong." "Strong?" Arden's voice cut through the night. "You're 20 warriors surrounding one terrified child. Where's the strength in that? Strong. Well, something the matter, Crom. We're setting one rations of consevent. He failed the trial. He's a child." The words erupted from her, raw and fierce. "Look at him. His plates haven't even hardened. You're asking a baby to face a razor-wing alpha alone and calling it honor when it's just cruelty dressed in tradition." Elder Krasik stepped forward from the circle, her scales dulled with age but her eyes sharp as plasma cutters. The human speaks blasphemy, yet she does not cower, curious. She tilted her head, studying Arden with predatory focus. "Tell me, soft skin, what do your people do with weakness?" Arden met the elder's gaze without flinching. "We protect it. We nurture it. Because we learned something you haven't. Strength isn't about who survives alone. It's about who we choose to save." "Soft words," Threxus snarled. "Your species would have perished in the first generation with such foolishness." "Really?" Arden's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "Because my soft species went from living in caves to building ships that cross galaxies in less time than your recorded history. We did it not because we were the strongest or the fastest or had the sharpest claws." She lowered her hands slowly, deliberately, placing one on Reek's trembling head. "We did it because we refused to leave anyone behind." "Empty philosophy," another warrior spat. "Is it?" Arden's voice gained strength. "Your pack has 300 warriors. My species has colonized 47 worlds. You know why? Because the weakest among us, the ones you would have culled, became our greatest innovators. The child, too frail to hunt, invented the bow. The elder, too slow to fight, developed strategy. The outcast, too different to belong, discovered new worlds." She paused, letting the words sink in. "You eliminate your weaknesses. We transform ours into strengths." Reek's crying had softened to quiet whimpers. His small claws gripped Arden's leg, finding courage in her unwavering stance. Elder Krasix moved closer, her ancient eyes studying the human woman with new intensity. "And if we spare him? What then?" "He remains weak. He shames his bloodline. He remains alive," Arden countered. "And maybe, just maybe, he becomes something none of you expected. Maybe his fear makes him cautious. And caution makes him wise. Maybe his weakness makes him empathetic, and empathy makes him a leader who understands mercy. She looked down at Reek, then back at the assembled warriors. Or maybe he stays afraid his whole life. But he stays alive. And that matters. The clearing fell silent except for the whisper of wind through crystalline leaves. Threxis and Krasix exchanged glances, some unspoken communication passing between them. The pack leader's crest slowly faded from red to amber uncertainty, replacing rage. "Your words are strange," Krasix said slowly, "but not without merit. My own clutchmate was weak. We culled her. 3 cycles later, we discovered plans she had drawn in secret weapons designs that would have changed our wars. We killed our own innovation out of tradition." The elder's voice carried the weight of ancient regret. Arden pressed her advantage. "It's not too late to change. Not for Reek. Not for your people." Threxis lowered his weapon first. The gesture sent shockwaves through the assembled warriors. "The human shows more honor protecting our weak than we show in destroying them," he said, his voice heavy. Perhaps we have mistaken cruelty for strength for too long." One by one, the pack lowered their weapons. The circle remained, but it had transformed from a noose to a council. Elder Krasix stepped forward until she stood before Arden, towering over the human woman. For a long moment, she simply stared. Then, slowly, the elder lowered herself to one knee, a gesture of profound respect among the Vakresh. "We have hunted under the same laws for 10,000 cycles," Krasix said, her voice carrying across the clearing. "Perhaps it is time we learned to hunt differently. Human Ardenvale, will you teach us? Will you show us how your soft species turns weakness into strength?" Arden looked down at Reek, who gazed up at her with luminous eyes full of hope and wonder. She thought of her own species' long, bloody journey from savagery to civilization, of every child ever saved, every outcast ever welcomed, every weakness ever transformed into unexpected strength. "Yes," she said simply. "But first, Reek needs a safe place to sleep. And tomorrow, we start building a new tradition. One where every cub gets the chance to find their own kind of strength." Under the hunting moon of Vakresh Prime, a human woman stood surrounded by alien predators, holding the hand of a frightened child. And for the first time in 10,000 cycles, the pack chose mercy over tradition. It was the beginning of their transformation. And it was the most human thing imaginable.